You just can't beat boondocking. You just really can't. We're in Idaho on the Salmon River, and Marvy, unfortunately, is still laid up in bed. She actually sprained her ankle also. She fell when we were fishing and twisted her ankle, but in the process also, you know, when she fell, she hurt her knee and her shoulder. So she's kind of been in the van trying to recuperate the best she can. So hopefully she'll have a speedy recovery and we can get her out hiking and doing things pretty soon. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is a little bit of fishing, a little bit of cooking, and is this the end of van life? Is this the end of RV life? And I just want to go over some information for you, because when I have time, sometimes I'll look at YouTube, van life and RV life. And the big thing now are people saying, is van life over and we have to leave because there's no camping spots because COVID is forcing people out and we just can't get an RV spot for ourselves, or there's no spaces around. And so for us, it's the best decision to do that. And I think it's okay. I don't believe them. I don't believe that there's no spots available. I think just people have a change of heart and they just decide not to do it anymore. With all due respect, the people who say they can't find anything, I'm not sure. I do have some numbers I'd like to go over, and they may be close to being accurate. These are the numbers I found on the internet. So as far as there's no place to go. If you're one of these people that have a fifth wheel or a Class A, or you want to pay, you have money and you can pay for RV sites. In the United States, there are 13,000 private RV sites in the United States currently operating. Now with the virus, some may be closed, but very few are really closed. And 13,000, that's not 13,000 places to park. It's 13,000 private RV parks, which may have anywhere from 10 to 70 sites to park at. And they all range in prices. So I think that for people who have a full RV that say they can't find a place, that may be a matter of money, but there's certainly plenty of availability in RV parks. And everywhere we've gone, I've just finished crossing the country, there's lots of RV spots and they're more than happy to take your money. Okay? Now, if you don't have that and you'd like to pay a small fee at like a state park, in the United States, there's 1,600 state parks that you can camp in, and most of those also have campgrounds. So I don't know if a lot of them have dispersed camping, but they certainly have parks where you can go and camp. In the United States, national parks, we have 70 national parks in every state except Delaware. Go figure. I don't know why, but every state has a national park. Again, you've got to get pay an entrance fee, and most campsites are pretty expensive. In the Tetons, we went to one campsite, and we have that Senior America Pass, so we get in for free. And the guy said, oh, we have campsites available, and you're lucky it's half price. It's only $17.50. So that means people are paying $35 to camp in these campsites. No showers, but they do have running water, picnic tables, and things like that. So again, if you have money to stay in a national park, you can do that. So as you can see, we're not running out of places to go. So if you want to do van life, those are all options. Now, if you are in a pickle, if you're broke or struggling financially because of the virus, or you just want to live this lifestyle, there's BLM land, which is Bureau of Land Management. It's public land. You can camp Most places for free. You got to consult the maps and pay attention. There are a few things you need to know, such as a 10-day or 14-day limit, and then you have to move up to like 20 miles away. Then you can come back after 6 days or 10 days. The rules vary based on the locations, but we've been living on BLM land for quite a long time. In the United States, there's over 240 million acres of BLM land. The caveat to that is most of it is out west. So you're not going to go right out of Manhattan and find a beautiful BLM camp spot. Just not going to happen. And most of the East Coast has very minimal BLM or free camping. So most of it's out west. And so as you can see, it's a miserable place to be. Okay. But where we're at right now, it's a 10-day limit, free camping. And of that 240 million, 154 national forests. Remember I said there were 1,600 state forests, but you have over 154 national forests, which account for about 188 million acres. So folks, the whole point of that is don't believe these people when they try to say I'm getting out of van life or RV life, for the reason that there's no available parking or camping. The reason if there's no available parking is if you have, like next week is Labor Day weekend, if you show up Friday at like 6 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night expecting to find a campsite at a very popular location, you may be out of luck. So most of us who've been doing this for a while know that if you're going to be changing locations, it's always best not to do it on a weekend. Do it in the middle of the week, because all of the weekend people come out and then they go Friday, Saturday, and they're usually gone midday on Sunday to go back home. So it's always best to move from one location to another in the middle of the week if you're traveling, okay? So what does a BLM spot looks like? They vary. If you looked at last week's video, we bushwhacked into the van into a small little beautiful remote place that we were parked right on the river, and that is where I caught that giant steelhead trout, and beautiful location. I'd like to take a second here and just show you a side-by-side comparison between a BLM site that's really nice. It actually has a bathroom, pit toilet, and then less than a half a mile away is one that you pay $18 for. So let's take a quick look at that. Okay, we're going to take a couple minutes here and show you the difference between a BLM spot, camping area, and a paid camping area. This is where we stayed a couple of nights, and it's BLM, Bureau of Land Management. You can stay for free up to 10 days. I'll just take a quick, this is one of the loops. As you can see, the road is nice. It's hard packed sand. It's got a pit toilet. Lots of camping spots all back up in here. Camping spots through here. And the Salmon River is straight over the edge. Here's a camping spot. Very nice looking camping spot. And it's really empty right now. There's probably about 25 or 30 sites here. You can be wide open if you have a fifth wheel, or back further in if you have a van, or if you're car camping. Lots of tent sites. And it's very nice. It rained heavily, so there's a little bit of water on the road. But this is in the Sawtooth Wilderness area. It's free. But I want to show you something here. Just down the road here, a half a mile down the road, is a paid camp area. But here, just a half a mile away, is paid camping. Now the paid camping is much nicer in the sense where you have a paved road. This is called Sunny Gulch. You can Google that and see. They have a camp host here. that kind of cleans the sites out, things like that. And so this is $18 a night, and essentially the biggest difference is this has water and the other one doesn't. So if you need water over your 10-day stay, you can. But this is basically $18 a night. Plus, if you have 2 vehicles, it's $18 plus $9 more for an additional vehicle. Let's look at a 10-day stay, for example. If you, for 10 days, they both have, they both have places to park, but the only difference really is water. So if you want to have water right at your campsite or close to your campsite, it's going to be basically for 10 days $180. That's if you have a single vehicle. If you have an extra vehicle, tack on another $90 to that, so it'd be $270 for 10 days. For the BLM, half a mile away, you don't have water. But if you want to save yourself $180 or $170, spend $10 on a container and 10 days worth of water, which is maybe 10 gallons of water, depending on how much water you use. So it's really up to you, but essentially this is a really good side-by-side comparisons of a very nice BLM campground. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. A lot of BLM campgrounds, like the ones we go to, are just a dirt road leading into the middle of nowhere, which is still fine for us. But I'm not sure why people camp here over where we were. I guess $180 for many people is not very, they don't consider that a lot of money. We kind of do. So anyway, that's it. Okay, so as you can see, there's lots of places. So what do you do all day at a BLM? Well, that comes into the next part of this video. We're by the Salmon River, and let me tell you a little bit about the Salmon River and where it starts. We'll do that right here. As the sign says, a lot of people don't understand where rivers come from. But give you an example, this is the birthplace of the Salmon River. This is the initial watershed, or what they would call the headwaters for the Great Salmon River, or the River of No Return, as they call it. And this is where the headwaters form, the very beginning. And again, it flows 420 miles where it joins into the Snake River. So as you can see, it's a beautiful river. The mist comes off early in the morning. It's not a very big river at this point, because the mouth where I'm at right now is only about 20 miles from where the headwaters are. But take a look at some of this fishing stuff. I think you might enjoy it. I got one this time. He's not a bad size. He might be a keeper. Yeah, I think I'll keep this guy if he stays on the line. He's a pretty rainbow. Yeah. All right, try again. Yeah, that's good. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good one. If I don't lose him, he's a keeper. That's what I wanted. It's a good fish. Come on. Up over that rock. There you go. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, baby. Stay on, hon.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, come on. Hang on. Don't come off. There you go. That's a pretty fish. He's barely on. That is a nice rainbow. That's a nice fish.
So what do we do with all that fish? Well, let's take a look, and I'm going to make some, we've been eating fish all types of ways, but this morning I made scrambled eggs with trout.
Hey, good morning, guys. It was freezing last night. It was about 31 degrees, and so we're fixing to have some breakfast. And first thing I want to do, obviously, is get some coffee on. And then, yesterday was not a great day for trout fishing. I only caught one trout, a small one. So what I decided, since we're going to make a good hearty beef stew tonight for dinner, I decided to take that fish and make some scrambled eggs with trout for breakfast. And so let's go ahead and do that. Marvy's still sleeping under a really thick warm quilt, so I'll get some coffee going for her. Okay, so next we're going to just take a small trout I caught and fry it up to put in the eggs. So I'm going to put some butter in the pan, but I'm also going to take an habanero pepper and just take some slices of it. As you know, it's one of the hottest peppers there are, so we don't want a whole lot. And I don't want any major giant pieces of it in there just to set your mouth on fire for the morning. So I'm going to dice this up really small. I'm going to cook this with the trout, and then later I'm going to debone the trout and shred it, and that's going to go into the eggs. And so this is just to give it a little bit of a citrus flavor and some heat, a little bit of heat just on the meat itself. I'm not doing it on the eggs. There. And before we do anything else, we will try to get some of that habanero off the hands. No sense touching your face with habanero. And let's cook the fish. But anyway, I've got the butter and the habaneros going, and then I've got my fish here. I'm just going to lay him right in here. Ooh, those habaneros smell good. Now the idea is to cook this trout in the habaneros, and then I'm going to debone it and set the meat aside. It can get cold, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to add it to the eggs as I scramble them. But I want to cook up this trout first. If you've never had trout scrambled eggs, you're missing out. It sounds gross, but like a lot of people will have salmon, smoked salmon in their scrambled eggs. Trout's the same idea. All right, so the trout is cooked. And there's the trout. It's cooked. I would normally give Jackson the skin, but because I have habanero in there, I don't think I will. And to debone it, it's very simple. You just basically can start with the backbone of the fish and then just gently separate the meat. And you can pull that backbone right out of there if the fish is cooked all the way. Get your finger up under and you can just separate that meat just like that and pull that backbone off. And then you can also pull whatever meat that's left just right off that fish. There's going to be a few bones in there, but I'll pick through those when I'm done. So, like I said, normally I would give Jackson the skin, or you can eat it. It's very good. It's very crispy, but unfortunately, it's got a very jalapeno heat to it. I might actually save that for Marvy. But here we've got perfectly good fillet with really no bones. I'm going to not try to shred that, but I'm going to break that up in big chunks. Just making sure I don't see any bones along the way. This will be delicious in the eggs. It has just a hint of the habanero flavor and heat in it. Now, I decided to, instead of just using the trout meat, to use a trout skin. It was so delicious with the habanero flavors and crispy that I put that in here too. So I'm going to put a little butter in the pan, and then I'm going to add the meat and then gently scramble the eggs. The eggs are already mixed. Add those in there. Tried to mix everything up. The trout got a little clumped together. Just a little salt and a little pepper. Take the fork out and then loosely scramble these. You don't want to break up the trout very much. 2 of the crispy, warm tortillas on the plate, and give Marvy some eggs and trout. And that is it. That's a simple breakfast with a little bit of coffee, and that's it.
All right, everyone, that wraps it up for the week. So thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Be sure to do that. Share with your friends. We really like to grow this channel as much as we can. We're on a tight budget, doing a lot of work on videos. It's really hard to take this camera everywhere as we're fishing and stuff. So if you like to support us, we would really appreciate it. Thank you so much to all of our Patreon folks. Once again, you guys are a godsend. You're fantastic. The links for Patreon or other things are down below. Okay, and you can visit our website too at robandmarvy.com, and there's a lot of information there too. Okay, until next week, take care.